In June of 2011, a team of Swedish treasure hunters set out across the northern waters of the Baltic Sea. They weren't looking for aliens. They weren't searching for hidden relics of a lost civilization. They were after something far more ordinary: shipwrecks. The Ocean X team, as they were called, made their living scouring the seabed for vodka, wine, and valuable cargo lost to the waves centuries ago. But what they stumbled upon that summer would become one of the most baffling and controversial discoveries of the modern age. It wasn't a shipwreck. It wasn't treasure. Instead, it was something no one could immediately explain. A massive, circular structure lying at the bottom of the Baltic Sea, measuring nearly 200 feet across. At first glance, it looked like stone. But the sonar images suggested something far stranger. The object was symmetrical, disc-shaped, with edges that seemed almost manufactured. Like some kind of ancient ruin, or worse, a machine. Some saw a UFO. Others saw a natural rock formation. But one thing was clear. This was no ordinary find. And so began the mystery of what the world now calls the Baltic Sea Anomaly. The sonar images shocked everyone. When the Ocean X team first released them, blurry though they were, they spread like wildfire online. The images showed a circular mass with what appeared to be grooves and straight lines, unlike anything nature might casually produce. Adding to the intrigue, the formation was resting at the end of what looked like a massive runway, a path or groove stretching over 1,000 feet across the seafloor, as if the object had slid into place. People began speculating immediately. Was it a crashed UFO? A lost Nazi war machine? An ancient temple buried by the shifting seas? Skeptics dismissed it as nothing more than a strange boulder, a glacial deposit left behind from the Ice Age. But even the skeptics couldn't answer one question. Why did it look so deliberate? Why did it look like it was built? Peter Lindbergh, the leader of the Ocean X team, fueled the fire even further. In interviews, he described the anomaly as something very, very strange. He claimed the divers who went down to investigate reported seeing unusual right angles, perfectly smooth walls, and even something resembling a staircase leading down into the structure. For many, that was enough. This wasn't a rock. This was a ruin. But the mystery didn't stop there. Strange reports began to emerge from the dives themselves. The team claimed that when they approached the object, their electronic equipment started failing. Cameras, lights, even satellite phones. Anything electrical seemed to malfunction in the presence of the anomaly. Skeptics argued this was exaggeration or even fabrication. But the idea that a massive disc-shaped object at the bottom of the Baltic Sea could disrupt electronics instantly drew comparisons to classic UFO encounters. Could this be proof of a spacecraft lying beneath the waves, silent and forgotten? And if so, how long had it been there? The location of the anomaly only added to the intrigue. The Baltic Sea is shallow, cold, and relatively young in geological terms. It formed after the last ice age, around 10,000 years ago. If this structure was older than that, it meant it had been built or placed before modern history even began. Who could have made it? Some researchers suggested an ancient civilization lost to time, wiped away by floods and shifting seas. Others reached further still, arguing that if the object wasn't natural, it could only be extraterrestrial. But there was another possibility, a darker one. During World War II, the Baltic Sea was a hotbed of military activity. The Nazis were known for their secret weapons projects, strange, experimental crafts and technologies that often sound like science fiction today. Could the Baltic Sea Anomaly be a remnant of one of those projects? Something Germany was working on, abandoned and lost as the war came to an end? The problem with all these theories was simple. No one could prove anything. The Ocean X team released fragments of video and sonar, but the full dive footage has never been made public. Some believe this is because the team is withholding evidence. Others think they simply found nothing worth showing. But Lindbergh and his crew insist the mystery is real, and that they encountered things they still cannot explain. Perhaps the most shocking claim came when divers reported that the structure didn't look like ordinary rock at all. They described it as something more like concrete, with sections that appeared molded or carved. In one part of the anomaly, they claimed to find a circular hole leading down inside. like an entrance. What lay within, however, they could not see. And then there's the strangest detail of all. The divers claimed they found what looked like a staircase, leading from the top of the structure downward into the sea floor. For believers, this was the smoking gun. Rocks don't have staircases. Rocks don't have perfect right angles. Rocks don't disrupt electronics. But if this wasn't a rock, what was it? As the story spread, scientists began weighing in. Some geologists suggested the anomaly was nothing more than a glacial deposit, shaped over thousands of years by moving ice sheets. The circular shape, they argued, was a coincidence. The runway leading up to it could have been a natural gouge carved by glaciers. But even that explanation left questions unanswered. Why did divers report such unusual features on the object's surface? Why did so many electrical failures occur near it? And why did the team release so little footage if it was just a rock? In the absence of answers, theories grew wilder. Some claimed the anomaly was an ancient crash site, an alien spacecraft that went down thousands of years ago, long before human civilization had even taken root in the region. Others suggested it was a forgotten city, evidence that advanced cultures existed in Northern Europe before history records them. And then there's the wildest theory of all, that the Baltic Sea Anomaly isn't a rock, a ship, or even a building, but a machine. Something buried and dormant, hidden beneath the waves until it is discovered or reactivated. The idea may sound absurd, but the object's strange electromagnetic interference only fuels the speculation. Could this be some kind of ancient technology, sleeping at the bottom of the sea? If that's the case, then one question becomes terrifying. What happens if it wakes up? To this day, the true nature of the Baltic Sea Anomaly remains unknown. Scientists who claim it is natural have never fully explained the accounts of the divers. The Ocean X team still insists they found something out of the ordinary, but they have never returned to investigate in depth, citing costs and lack of funding. The object lies there still, silent, waiting. A 200-foot disk beneath the waves, too strange to be dismissed, too mysterious to be understood. And so we're left with questions. Was it a ship? A ruin? A rock? Or something else entirely? Maybe one day the truth will come to the surface. But until then, the Baltic Sea Anomaly remains one of the ocean's greatest mysteries, hiding in plain sight, deep beneath the cold northern waters.